There are very few games I would genuinely call life-changing. Most games we play for a few weeks then move on to the next one. But over the last decade, I've played some games that truly changed my life. Some for the better, some for the worse. So today, I want to try and change yours as well. And no game has shifted my entire perspective on life as much as Halo. Specifically, Halo Reach. From the moment you start Reach's campaign, you're presented with a completely different perspective. Most games and movies follow the same pattern. The main character is good, the villain is evil. And 99% of the time, the good guy wins. Well, because that's what we want. We want good to overcome evil. It's been like this since the dawn of storytelling. But Halo Reach flips that on its back. You're Noble 6, a fierce lone wolf assassin who has always worked solo, but is suddenly placed into Noble Team, a squad where everyone depends on each other. It's daunting for 6 to adapt, but he does, because he has to. As you, the player, grows closer to the team, fighting alongside them, exploring with them, realizing the Covenant is now on Reach, and slaughtering civilians. You feel that familiar sense of duty. You're the main good guy. It's your mission to stop this powerful evil force and save Reach. But what you don't know is this mission is impossible. As you progress, your new teammates die, one by one, brutally, in battles you cannot prevent. As humans, we always have that little string of hope, the belief that somehow we can overcome the impossible. But on Reach, you just can't. From the very moment you loaded up the campaign, you had already failed. While you thought you were climbing the hill towards victory, you were actually going the other way, downhill. No matter what you do, everyone gets picked off, until you, the main character, are forced to confront something you've been running from since the beginning. Being a lone wolf again. Halo Reach teaches the player a brutal lesson. Sometimes, no matter how hard you fight, no matter how strong you are, you end up right back where you started. Alone, with a gun, facing an overwhelming army. Games and movies often treat the main character like a god. Halo Reach humbles you. Your friends die, buying time. You're given false hope from the start. You might have realized it long ago, but you keep pushing forward, desperate for help, comfort, just anything. Yeah, every path leads to the same ending. Death. The whole time you thought you were surviving, the story really starts with your death. You're just playing out the final moments of a doomed soldier. What separates Reach from every other game is how it flips your primal instincts. Your fight or flight response kicks in, but it doesn't matter. There's no escape route, so you're left with one final psychological state: acceptance-based resistance. You're fighting not to win, but because it's all you can do. And that's what really makes Halo Reach so noble. Even though you're helpless from the very start, you keep going until the end, fighting as hard as you possibly can for something bigger than yourself. When you finally fall on a planet completely overtaken by evil, your helmet remains. Proof that someone fought with everything they had. The final mission, Lone Wolf, is a life-changing experience. It's designed to make the player feel the isolation and unbreakable determination that defined Noble 6, turning your final moments into a psychological mirror of the character's last stand. At the end of all this, was it all pointless? That's what you're left thinking after such a tragic ending. But you're wrong. Halo Reach hits so hard because even though you lost the battle, your actions echo into the entire Halo universe. Yes, Noble 6 dies on Reach, leaving you distraught, but their sacrifice ensures Master Chief survives, the Pillar of Adam escapes, and humanity gets one final chance. Halo makes you realize that sometimes your impact isn't measured by survival, but by what survives because of you. That's a message you never get in gaming, and even life. There truly hasn't been a game as good as Halo Reach, since it's the most brutal human story told in gaming. Not because of its dialogue, but because of its honesty, and somehow that makes the characters feel more alive than any victory ever could. There truly hasn't been a game that lives up to Halo Reach since, but there is one game that I think has broken every barrier in gaming as a whole, and it only came out this October: Arc Raiders. One of the most interesting, life-changing games I've ever played, and nobody is talking about it. Arc Raiders is a multiplayer extraction shooter, similar to games like Escape from Tarkov. One of the biggest complaints about the extraction shooter genre is how brutal players are towards each other. It doesn't matter what you say or what you have, almost every time you load into one of these games, you're guaranteed to fight at least one other person. But this is where Arc Raiders steps in and changes everything. Arc gives you true freedom. You can go full PvE, or you can choose to straight PvP and kill everyone in sight. You won't be punished for either playstyle. In fact, Ark actively encourages PvP, because if you win, you get the other player's loot and walk out in a stronger position. But the fascinating thing about Ark Raiders isn't the mechanics, it's the community. There's something genuinely special happening in it. When you load in and try to shoot someone, most of the time, you're not rewarded with loot. You're rewarded with a wave of guilt. There's something deeper in Ark that makes you, the player, feel genuinely terrible for killing someone else. In games like DayZ, betrayal is normal, expected even. But in Ark, if you betray someone, you feel it for days. It's just a video game, but somehow, it doesn't feel like just a video game anymore. There's something deeper hidden behind it. If you pull the trigger on someone who is just looting, you feel like a bloodthirsty monster, and I don't say that lightly. From the hundreds of games I've played, I've never experienced anything like Ark Raiders. For once, players aren't murdering on sight. They're letting each other speak, say their piece, team up, or simply just walk away. Maybe this community is just special, or maybe humanity is actually flipping a switch. Ark Raiders teaches us something genuinely unique, and everyone should learn from this. While it's always funner to run around slaughtering everyone, maybe if we just let people speak first, let them say what's on their mind, we might all end up in a better position. Halo Reach and Ark Raiders couldn't be more different. One is a tragic sci-fi war story, and the other is a multiplayer extraction shooter. But somehow, both games reach the same truth about us as players and people. Halo Reach shows us sacrifice. It shows us what it means to stand your ground, even when the ending is already written. It forces you to feel the weight of doing the right thing, even when you know you won't survive it. Lone Wolf isn't a mission, it's a message. Ark Raiders shows us choice. It proves that even in a genre built on betrayal, people can choose to be better. That a simple moment, hearing someone's voice, letting them speak, letting them walk away, is powerful enough to change how you look at every game that comes after. Both of these games teach you something about humanity, and that's truly why these games matter. Not only because they're fun, but because they make you feel something real. Something that stays with you long after you finish the game. If a game can do that, if a game can change the way you think, act, or interact with other people, then that's not just a game anymore. That's an experience. And these two games, Halo Reach and Ark Raiders, they're the kind of experiences that may just change your life.
Go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!